Hey guys, it's Milo. This is Matlab video tutorial number 6, and we're going to be talking about conditional statements. So conditional statements are like if statements, and they're basically built off of expressions and statements. And statements are something that you're already familiar with, whether you realize it or not. When you set a variable equal to a number, like a equals 2, that is a statement. And an expression is basically something that you're checking whether or not it's true or false. So if you say a greater than 3, that is an expression, and you're basically asking the question, is a greater than 3? And Matlab checks and says, no, it's not. So expressions return 1 if it's true and 0 if it's false. Matlab returned a 0. So, and we know that's right because a is 2 and 2 is less than 3. In addition to the greater than, you can also use the less than. So that obviously returns a 1. That expression is true. And you can also use the double equal sign, which will check if the two things are equal to each other, and it returns a 0 because they are not equal, right? Because if you just use one equal sign, then you're setting a equal to 3. But when you use, so now a equals 3, and then when you use two equal signs, you're checking to see if they're equal, and now they are. You can also use a tilde to check if something is not equal. And you can link together multiple expressions with the double ampersand, which means and. Or you can use the double vertical lines, which means or. So if either this statement or this statement is true, then the entire, if either this expression or this expression is true, the entire expression will return true. There's also some built-in functions which are expressions. For example, there's is prime. You can use is prime on a number, and it will check if it's prime. It will return a 1 if it is prime and a 0 if it's not prime. So 4 is not prime, it returns a 0, and 5 is prime and it returns a 1. So these expressions all return a 0 if it's false and a 1 if it's true. So the way these if statements are built, you always write if and then an expression, and then you have some statements. So that could be just like, setting any variable equal to a number or carrying out some process. So this is the simplest form of if statement right here. And essentially what will happen is if the expression is true, the statements will be carried out. And if the expression is false, then nothing will happen. But sometimes you want this situation right here where if the expression is true, you carry out one process, but if it's false, you carry out a different process. And for that, you're going to need the else guy right here. I don't even know what to call that. If and else. And the last case is expandable to your needs. Sometimes not only do you want to carry out a different statement when the expression is false, but you may want to even throw in a new expression and check if that expression is true or false. And for that, you'll use the else if. So you can write if and then some expression, and if it's true, then these statements will be carried out. And if it's false, then you'll basically ask a new expression. And if that expression is true, these statements will be carried out. And if none of them are true, then these statements will be carried out.